This is Valley News Live at noon.
We have breaking news for you at noon. Emergency crews are on scene of a vehicle rollover on I-94 just east of 34th Street in Moorhead. Now, we do have a reporter on scene, and as you can see here, an SUV landed on its roof. No word yet on whether anyone was hurt. The roads are icy, so if you need to venture out today, take your time and be cautious while driving. Holiday plans will put a lot more families behind the wheel and up in the air heading into Christmas weekend, but some big weather could mean some last-minute switch-ups. A massive storm system will affect most of the country this week leading up to Christmas Eve, with the most significant impacts to major travel hubs from the Midwest to the Northeast expected Thursday and Friday. Highway travel will also be difficult to impossible at times. Below zero temps will hit the valley the hardest the next couple of days, where some areas could reach a wind chill of negative 55 degrees. Now let's check in with meteorologist Gash to see what's in store for us this week. Jim, we know that today is the start of those first alert weather days.
That's right, Bobby. Today is the first one, but it's definitely not the last one. They're going to go all the way through Friday for that Arctic air, and if that wasn't enough, we have another round of snow coming on tomorrow into Thursday morning. So we're already seeing these dangerous temperatures and even more dangerous wind chills across the valley. Those are going to continue until Friday. And like Bobby was talking about, there is a big storm system brewing, and that's going to provide a lot of snow for the southern Midwest, but we're going to be right on the edge of that. So we're going to see a couple inches of snow here and there. And by Friday, much of the country will see those temperatures below freezing, even all the way down to the Gulf Coast, the panhandle of Florida, and even into Mexico. But right now we're seeing clear skies in Devil's Lake, and it's pretty bright there with the sun and that snow. Skies are pretty clear. We have a couple clouds on both edges of our viewing area down in the south as well as up toward Baudette, and we're seeing those temperatures already very chilly. Devil's Lake sitting at negative 21 here. In Fargo, it's negative 14, and those wind chills even worse. Devil's Lake sitting at negative 50 degrees for that wind chill, which is very dangerous. We could see frostbite in about 5 to 10 minutes. So if you go outside, make sure to bundle up and keep all of that skin covered up, because that will freeze pretty quickly. So Bobby, I'll have more information about how long this cold will last, plus that snow forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Jim, thank you. A lot of information you're going to have to go over. Well, it looks like heavy snow is to blame for the collapse of a roof in New Rockford, North Dakota. The Rockford is closed indefinitely after the part of the 100-year-old structure failed yesterday. Barricades are set up because the building is unstable and more bricks or structural elements could also fall. The North Dakota Film Society has started a GoFundMe to help get the theater back up and running. Road crews around the valley are in high gear, doing all they can to keep up with the snow and ice on streets and highways. With temps below zero all week, they say the solution isn't simply plowing and dropping treatments.
Normally, if the temperatures were up, our salt and our liquids would probably burn the ice off. But with these cold temperatures, and it's going to be cold all week, we're throwing every other tool we have at it with scrapers and truck underbodies.
Cass County officials say the biggest challenge is the wind blowing treatments off of county roads. In town, it's high speeds from traffic. Chilly temperatures outside might have you reaching for the thermostat, but you could save a bit if you bundle up instead of cranking the heat. The Department of Energy says for each degree that you turn your thermostat down in winter, you save about 3% on your heating bill. The Energy Information Administration projects that it'll cost the average home 28% more to heat with natural gas this winter than last, heating oil 27% and electric 10%. Now you can save on heating bills by lowering your thermostat, especially while you are asleep or away at work or school, fixing air leaks on your doors and windows, changing your air filter and cleaning your ducts to make sure your heater can run smoothly, and opening your window covering during the day to let sunlight in, then closing them once the sun goes down. New and new, North Dakota's Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford has resigned effective January 2nd. Governor Doug Burgum says that he will announce Sanford's successor in less than 10 minutes at 12:15 at the state capitol. Sanford has served as North Dakota's 38th Lieutenant Governor since he and Burgum took office in 2016. They were re-elected to a second four-year term in 2020. Sanford cited a desire to return to the private sector and focus on his family and career. The House January 6th committee voted to refer criminal charges to the Justice Department for former President Donald Trump for his alleged role in the attack on the U.S. Capitol. The recommendations are not binding but could increase the political pressure on federal prosecutors to act. Deborah Alfarone has more.
On this vote, there are 9 ayes and 0 noes.
By a unanimous vote, the House committee investigating the January 6th attack urged the Department of Justice to file criminal charges against former President Donald Trump.
He lost the 2020 election and knew it, but he chose to try to stay in office through a multi-part scheme to overturn the results and block the transfer of power.
The panel listed 4 possible criminal charges: obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to make a false statement, and acting to incite, assist, or aid or comfort an insurrection.
Ours is not a system of justice where foot soldiers go to jail and the masterminds and ringleaders get a free pass.
The committee also recommended possible charges be brought against former law professor and informal Trump advisor John Eastman for allegedly advancing a plan to overturn the 2020 election results, which he denies.
The formal criminal referrals are not binding on the Justice Department, but at least one former federal prosecutor says the evidence compiled by the committee will be hard to ignore.
The department, though, to its credit, will, I have no doubt, administer justice without fear or favor. They will say, we look at the facts, we look at the law, and we'll decide at the right time if charges are appropriate.
On Truth Social, Donald Trump slammed the committee as, quote, corrupt and partisan. The panel also recommended 4 Republican House members to the House Ethics Committee for failing to comply with subpoenas, among them House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who's seeking to be Speaker of the House in January. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The committee released a 154-page summary of its investigation. It is expected to release its final report later this week. The U.S. Supreme Court is putting on hold a court order that would have allowed a Trump-era immigration policy to expire tomorrow. The Biden administration has until Thursday to file a challenge to the stay. The COVID-era policy allows asylum seekers to be quickly expelled from the U.S. on public health grounds. More than 2 million people have been expelled from the country as a result of the policy. A big boost for the Salvation Army's Christmas campaign. 3 gold coins were discovered in red kettles around Fargo, valued at more than $5,000. One was found in a kettle at Hornbachers on 32nd Avenue South, and another at the Northport Hornbachers. To date, the Fargo-Moorhead Red Kettle campaign has raised more than $507,000, which is about half of the $1 million Christmas goal. If you don't have change or can't make it to a kettle, you can also give to the campaign virtually, and we have a link on your VNL News app. Well, coming up at noon, researchers in England looked into how microplastics could be creeping into your holiday meals. But next, meteorologist Jim Gash has your weather to plan your day.